G7 leaders wrapped their first day of meetings with a skydiving demonstration, following a day of discussions on global challenges, including the wars in the Middle East and Europe. Ukraine received special focus. U.S. President Joe Biden signed a bilateral security deal with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
The steps we're going to take to make sure that Ukraine has victory and that Russia does not prevail is continued support.
G7 leaders agreed to Biden's plan to lend $50 billion to Ukraine to be paid back using the estimated $3 billion a year in interest income from $280 billion in immobilized Russian assets.
The finance ministers are now going through the details, for example, topics of backstops that are necessary, and clarify this as soon as possible.
U.S. officials say they expect a clear framework by the summit's end. President Volodymyr Zelensky voiced concern about Western staying power in support of Ukraine, but said he was grateful for the security deal.
The issue of NATO is covered through the text of the agreement. It states that America supports Ukraine's future membership in NATO and recognizes that our security agreement is a breach to Ukraine's membership in NATO.
Earlier this week, the U.S. slapped fresh sanctions on those helping Moscow's military-industrial base, including China-based companies selling semiconductors to Russia. The war in Gaza is also a focus. Will a ceasefire happen soon? Biden said he was not confident.
The biggest hang-up so far is Hamas refusing to sign on, even though they have submitted something similar. Whether it had now to come to fruition remains to be seen. We're going to continue to push.
Seeking to stem the tide of African migrants coming to Europe through Italy, summit host Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has made migration and investment in Africa key themes of her G7 presidency.
Italy has put at the center of its presidency the question of migration and the role, ever more worrisome, that the trafficking organizations are taking, obviously exploiting the desperation.
Meloni's push for Africa is in line with G7's Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment, PGI. The goal, to mobilize $600 billion in private infrastructure funding by 2027 as an alternative to the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. Meetings will continue Friday with a focus on confronting Chinese overcapacity and on debt relief for low and middle-income countries, and a session on AI ethics featuring Pope Francis. Patsy Widakuswara, VOA News, Borgo Ignazia, Italy.